Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Team Amasian's Wrestling Podcast. We quite don't have a title yet, but we don't care. We are still going to do this, and we are still enjoying talking all things WWE wrestling. And yes, at some point, AEW and its counterparts. And is my co-host today, and I am Kaori.
Hello.
And today we are going to talk about all the things in the news circling around WWE. And there's quite a bit of interesting things to talk about. So we're going to talk about those things. And of course, we're going to recap the results when it comes to Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. Okay, first news tidbit is Ronda Rousey says she doesn't like WWE fans. She says that they are, in quotes, F you, king, ungrateful fans. She was on the Wild Steve-O podcast when she said that, basically saying she did enjoy her time during her stint in the WWE, enjoyed the girl talk and the girls' locker room. However, she didn't like, being part-time and working over 200 hours in a year and having fans being ungrateful for how much work she put into it. And what do you think?
Surprise, surprise, but really not surprised. Having been a fan of Ronda Rousey when she was in UFC, then watching her transition into the WWE, I would say, why did she not know that that's the environment that she was signing up for?
Yeah.
I think that's the question that comes to mind. Is we know just from seeing how much work goes in each wrestler, whether you're main card, whether you're the bottom of the deck, wherever you're at, from what we know, there's a lot of time commitment that goes into any of these jobs when you work for WWE, whether you're talent or not. And so I think I just had to take a step back because did she just not think that that was going to be the case in terms of the work schedule? And then when it comes to the fans, look, the only reason she was a favorite with the UFC is because she is a badass MMA fighter.
Right. Mm-hmm.
She can whoop almost anybody's ass. Like, that is the truth. She, in real life, would probably stare me down and I would be pinned to the ground for I don't know how. But when it comes to WWE, you have to have personality. You have to be able to get the crowd going, whether it's one way or the other. The crowd was not going in the way that she wanted, not in her favor, I guess. And so I've seen Ronda Rousey do it before where she's bitched about MMA fans.
Yeah, quite a bit.
She's bitched about the UFC environment. So now here she is in the WWE camp and she's bitching again. And I'm sorry, but I used to be a fan and I just don't think that I could support her any longer.
Well, there are rumors, and I don't know if it's true, that this could be a work for her return to the WWE because obviously she's riling you up, and obviously she riles me up when I read this article when she says, F-U-C-K these fans, dude, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty harsh, but you're right. The thing with WWE is it's scripted fighting, and it's not her choice who gets to win or lose.
Right.
If it was reality, she would have kicked Becky Lynch's ass.
Oh, absolutely.
At WrestleMania, no doubt about it.
Right.
But it's not her choice, and she needs to understand that if the script goes a certain way, and as a result, the fans are going to look at her a certain way, you can't take it personal. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, fans know the difference between kayfabe and not. Mm-hmm. So if this is not a work, then she's kind of a jerk.
If it is a work, though, what do you think it does for her? Do you think it sways the fans in any direction, or is it going to be the same?
To be honest with you, I think it's going to be the same.
Me too.
I don't. There's nothing. She can't just come back. It's like she should have a mic piece. She should have a Paul Heyman if she wants someone talking.
Absolutely.
She could beat the female Brock Lesnar if she wants to.
Yep.
But she should not be the one talking, especially because she doesn't have very good mic skills. So this is a risk that if it was a work or it is in fact a work, it might work against her or it might not do anything.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I worry for her too, just from knowing her lifestyle and where she's at. If she's not doing WWE, what is she doing? I don't know.
Well, allegedly wants to take care of a family, start a family of her own. wants to invest in a family rather than invest in ungrateful fans. So,
Right. Well,
we'll see. I mean, if you think about it, though, work or not work, WWE put her back into the spotlight for a little bit. It gave her a paycheck when she probably wasn't going to be endorsed as much anymore, as her, 5 minutes of fame was slowly dwindling after she had her major loss,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So
they definitely gave her something, which is why it irritates me even more.
Yes.
Is that
right.
WWE gave you a platform and you're just saying, screw you guys.
Right.
But we'll see. If it is a work, I don't know that it changes the environment that she's in.
Right. I agree with you. Okay, well, the next topic of today is the Revival was released from the WWE. I think, Anne, you really liked them, didn't you?
I thought they were pretty good. I know, didn't we see them at an event? I thought we saw them at a live event.
I don't remember. Maybe TakeOver?
Yeah, maybe. I thought they were pretty good. I thought they made a good team. But as things go, tag teams tend to get buried too, especially when WWE doesn't know what to do with them.
Or they last forever.
Or they just go on forever and not really go up or down, right?
Yeah.
They kind of just maintain. So it's unfortunate, but I think for those paying attention, I think we could all see this coming, right?
Yeah, I wasn't shocked by this by any means.
Right.
If they said the New Day is out, that would have been shocking.
Right.
But the Revival, I mean, they were a pretty decent tag team. And I'm sure that they're already getting a lot of contract possibilities elsewhere.
Yes.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe
That's
they've
what
been
I suspect.
eyeballing other things as well, right? I imagine that, yes, WWE is, the golden ticket, or not the golden ticket, but it's the trophy to get there. Like, that's every wrestler's dream.
Oh, yeah.
But I think a lot of times once they hit that dream and the reality hits, just like any, dream job, it becomes something else. And after a while, you just want to try something new. Your
Right.
dream becomes something else. It humbles you once you attain your dream most of the time.
Yeah, it's like any career. If you don't find yourself advancing or,
Right.
exactly where you want to be after you get that job, then might as well look elsewhere.
Right. And so good for them if it was their choice or WWE's choice. I'm guessing it was probably their choice, but who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the next topic is a pretty big topic. So you guys know that we have this huge virus going on around the world. A lot of us are forced to quarantine, stay at home, self-isolate. We have stay-at-home orders in most states, if not all states. Florida has that as early as April. I think that's why they had to pre-tape everything to make sure that they had footage for WrestleMania. And they weren't planning on going live until now. Now they decide they're going to go live despite the COVID-19. So Raw and SD, as well as NXT, are going to move forward and go live this week and until further notice. Vince McMahon allegedly found a loophole to make this happen despite the stay-at-home order. Anne, can you explain that one a little bit?
Well, as it stands as of this afternoon, WWE is classified as an essential business. So as we know, regulations that have been put forth by each state, the state of Florida is deeming pro wrestling as an essential business, and they are exempt from having to follow the COVID-19 regulations.
I mean, you guys can't
I'm
see
laughing
me,
as I say it because I
but
just can't believe
I am
it.
just shaking my head profusely. I've seen an article as well that the loophole also is that he is required through the USA Network and Fox Network to meet a certain amount of shows and hours. So he has to honor those hours. But I mean, we all are employed and we all have required hours to be considered fully employed, but we're all off of work. I think the big issue I have here is the safety of anyone going into the performance center and anyone that's connected to anyone that goes into that performance center.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The wrestlers are strong, on our talent are going to go there. And these people may be asymptomatic coming out. We don't know, because they do allegedly have a lot of checks before you go inside, but they're not testing for the coronavirus before they go inside as well.
That's correct.
So this is a problem, at least for me, that they're doing live shows. I don't want to say this because I love watching the WWE and I love the WWE and I'm always going to be a fan, but I'm disappointed in this choice because I really care about people, and maybe I'm not well informed enough to understand the workings behind this decision. But for me, if you're canceling NBA, NHL, baseball, why not wrestling?
Agreed.
So
I think essentially what's happening here is it's that debate that's been coming up since we've been under lockdown for any business, is that do you put the economy over the health of your people?
Yeah.
And it's a running debate amongst Democrats and Republicans right now in terms of, do you open up commerce again just so we can get that economy going back up, because right now it's tanking, versus do we keep everybody on lockdown, make sure everything is under control before you start to open up these essential businesses. But going back to the fact that pro wrestling is being deemed as an essential business baffles me.
Yeah. I don't get it. There's other ways to do it. I would have been more amazed if they managed to have like them bickering at each other over Zoom or something. Like they could have put the coronavirus in a storyline.
Oh, for sure.
Right. We could have all engaged in that. We could have all that resonates with me that we're all quarantined, but it's so funny that these guys are yelling at each other, trying to get the 24/7 championship or whatever,
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. I mean, you see other shows, big shows like SNL that are doing their live tapings, each person from home. And
Jimmy Fallon, late night at home.
Exactly, putting it together. James Corden, like all of these people who have these standing shows that are typically live are finding ways to do it while still remaining in quarantine. And look, I think we talked about it a little bit before the podcast. We know that Vince is connected. We know that his wife works for a government agency. It's just, there's enough connections there for me to not be surprised by the fact that they were able to find this loophole. It's just unfortunate. To your point, it's a little bit disappointing that they're putting the business and they're putting
people at risk.
And
people around these people at risk as well.
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of these talents have to travel. They have to get on a plane. They have to go to a hotel. Then they go to the performance center. And it just...
Yeah. It's putting the talent in this weird predicament. I mean, look at Roman Reigns, who was slated to perform at WrestleMania and said, guys, I can't do it. It's enough risk to me, who I've had autoimmune failures, to put myself in that type of environment. And for wrestlers who are not Roman Reigns, who don't carry that name, what kind of predicament does that put you in if you're a mid-carder and you're being asked to go to the performance center?
I know.
And your life is in danger. Like,
right.
Do you say yes because you don't want to lose your job?
That's a very big question I've been hearing all day today.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's what do? You want to say no to protect everyone, but you need that job, right?
Yeah, and Vince loves his business, like loyal and true business people. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean it's unfortunate, and I hope that they try this out and realize this is too risky or something.
Right.
Maybe I'm overreacting, but I would rather overreact and damage control than the other way around.
We're just not there yet. I mean, what are we? April 13th. Most of the states that I'm aware of are quarantined till at least the end of the month, if not mid-May. So why not wait just a little bit longer?
It's not that long. It's just 3 to 4 episodes per show.
Right.
Well, in a kind of a lighter news, we have Drew McIntyre, who is now the current WWE champ. He had his own locker room during WrestleMania. I know this is not the most important of wrestling tidbits, but what he has to say is interesting because He's saying that everyone is following protocol to a T when it comes to COVID-19 and entering the performance center. He's saying that the CDC guidelines are really well followed. Even more precautions are taken than necessary. This is what he's saying. And he says that, yeah, it's kind of weird at first to enter the ring and have a match with no screaming fans, but eventually you kind of get into it and used to it. So I thought it was interesting to see what he had to say about headlining WrestleMania in an empty room.
Look, I think we got used to it as fans. Well, at least I have.
Yeah.
We've watched a few episodes now with no fans, and it's becoming the norm for me. I think the matches are even more elevated because you don't have the fans to sway you one way or the other.
Yeah.
But it is nice to hear from, a name that I don't have any doubt that WWE is taking the precautions they need to.
I'm sure, yeah.
But there's still a risk, no matter what.
That's the point. There's still a risk, and it's a contact sport, and they go home to people, Now, unless you're working at a hospital, then I don't see how it's a necessary business, essential business.
Right.
It just boggles my mind. Like, every other sport has stopped.
Yeah.
Olympics stopped.
Yes.
Right?
Drop the mic right there.
I mean, my goodness.
It's absolutely true.
Okay, well, the next thing is still another COVID topic. In the WWE, they announced that an on-screen talent who allegedly is not on the roster tested positive for COVID-19. We're saying that it's an employee who appears on screen during its weekly television broadcasts, but no one knows who. I'm guessing it's not Nigel McGuinness.
Okay, we can clear that name.
Yeah, we'll clear that name.
On their podcast.
Yeah, on screen weekly television broadcast.
Oh, broadcast.
Sorry.
I was like, on their who could that be? Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no idea. But they had filmed like end of March is what they were saying. That whoever that was.
Yes. And for me, I'm like digging deep, right? And some people are like, oh, it's Corey Graves and Carmella. And I was like, oh, and I start digging deeper.
Yeah, you're really good at that actually.
But I don't think it's them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, look, I believe in patient confidentiality.
Yes.
Whoever it is, I hope that they recover. But it's interesting because I just heard this separate newscast about privacy, and if you get diagnosed, how far can they dig in before it's an invasion of your privacy? Because the doctor has to ask you, who have you been in contact with, so we can notify them as well.
Yes.
And so clearly this person was, at least on March 26th, had shot something or was in the performance center. So whoever was there at the performance center now has to get tested too, as a precaution. And I just hope that the person who has it recovers, and I hope nobody else is affected. But it goes back to what we were just talking about a few minutes ago.
Right.
And that this comes full circle. Essential business, you're putting people at risk. Somebody has it in your business. What else do you need to have happen?
Yes. And it comes out in 2 weeks. So March 26th, it's a little over 2 weeks by now, but a lot of things can, again, happen. And so I just, I mean, I love watching WWE, and I almost came to terms with, okay, well, they're doing it taped, because it's odd, but it worked out because I was like, I understand. But now trying to do it live, I just don't know. Do it live on Zoom, like fight each other. Let's practice everyone's rants and how they fight each other
now would
verbally.
Be the time, right?
Right? Now would be like test your skills.
I mean, everybody who runs their own business, you, for example, like you're trying to figure out ways to survive within this climate. I'm sure WWE could figure something out that will still keep them in business.
Easily for them.
Right.
I mean, we would watch them on Google Hangouts, it's fine.
Exactly. I will watch Otis play Ring Fit all day.
Yeah.
If that's what they want.
If they're like, let's battle this Ring Fit. Like, oh, yeah, I'd watch that. Brock Lesnar comes in, and the ring's all tiny in his hands. He's like, he breaks it because he's so big.
Yes, I will watch that.
I'm down for that.
For 3 hours.
3 hours. You know what? Less commercials.
Yeah.
All right. So next, now we're going to recap the shows. We have first the Raw results from last week. That was April 6th. Okay. We'll have this week's Raw next week at the end of that week, by the way. So going down the list, we first have Asuka versus Liv Morgan. Asuka defeats Morgan via submission. I don't know. As I was watching this match, my heart kind of felt sad because Asuka came into the main roster as an undefeated champ. She had the Royal Rumble title. She had an event at WrestleMania. She was head-to-head with Charlotte, and now she's fighting Liv Morgan. I know she won, and she looks like she's like, I don't care. As long as I'm wrestling, I'm good. As long as I'm being used, I'm good. Like, she has that spirit. But I just want to see more for her.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel.
No, I agree. I think, I don't know if they lost their way with where they wanted her to go. She is one of the most, if not the most entertaining wrestler right now in this climate.
I agree.
She brings the energy. She is funny. She's talented. She brings personality when there's no fans to bring that vibe. I'm the same way. I just wish that she was still up there. She should be fighting the Charlottes, the Beckys, all of those women.
Yeah, she should.
But what is it, do you think? Like, what does she have to do? Is it just one of those typical, WWE just doesn't know how to handle her? What's happened?
I mean, it could be that she's not efficient in English or proficient in English. And WWE has a very hard time with that for some reason. It's either they don't talk and they just eventually get mid-carded forever, or they talk and they're just ridiculous. It's just weird,
Yeah.
But they could put a mouthpiece to her. I think she works really well with Kaori. They could really make them really good tag team champs, and they are. Unfortunately, they lost the belt to Alexa and Nikki Cross, but I just want more for her.
Yeah.
I mean, Liv Morgan, Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
She's like a blonde Bella or something.
Right. And I'm sorry, but we talk about this every week. It's time for Becky to just let off the gas just a little bit.
Yeah, even Liv Morgan should beat Becky. Anybody?
just
anybody.
Just like 25% less of the man, I'd be happy.
Every time she comes out, we're like, oh.
Right. It's long overdue that either she needs a break, somebody needs to step up, just something needs to change in that.
Asuka for the win.
Yes.
Well, the next match became a tag team match to become a women's singles match to become a team match, so we had Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Austin Theory. Street Profits had Bianca Belair on their side, and Angel Garza and Austin Theory had Zelina Vega. And then, of course, the two women end up getting into it, and then finally it just becomes a whole thing. Obviously, with Belair's debut, you would think that they would make her win, and she did. I think she's the one that went in for the pin, if I remember. Decent match. I'm always shocked by how tiny Zelina Vega is.
She is a small lady.
She barely goes to the top rope.
Yes.
So I'm like, So just watching her wrestle is it's kind of like watching like a 4-year-old trying to grab for the cookie jar on the top shelf or something.
Do you think she's the same size or maybe just slightly bigger than the Ninja Warrior girl?
Oh, God. She might be bigger. That one's tiny.
It's just, I think sometimes these matchups, I don't know why this is just me, but I don't know why in men's wrestling, it works sometimes when they're mismatched like that. But when I was looking at the two women, Belair is just...
Yeah.
Come on. It's unbelievable that she wouldn't win.
Right.
Bianca would kick her butt.
Yeah, it's almost like if Nia Jax came in the ring and we had, let's see, Liv Morgan, I'm using her as picking her up.
Right.
And, it's like,
It's just so, I know it's all the time. Like, this is from Test of Time. Like, this is Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan. Like that kind of mismatch. It's just funny. When it comes to women, I'm like, no, that would never happen.
Although I would say that I agree with you, but I remember my favorite female wrestler is AJ Lee.
Oh, yeah.
She was pretty small, I think. She was maybe 5'2", but that's still bigger than Zelina. She got really buff, too. Jesus. Thinking about her. All right.
Ding.
Ding, ding. My heart eyes are happening.
Yes, to give the Animal Crossing face.
I know. The joy. Okay. All right. Next up, we have Bobby Lashley, who was interviewed backstage. I don't even know why I decided to point that out.
Because of his small ears?
Who cares? Oh, my gosh. If you guys are listening to this podcast, next time you see Bobby Lashley being interviewed, check out his small ears. You will never be able to unsee it again. He's got very small ears.
Yes. Tiny ears.
Which is fine. It's just overwhelming because he's so big.
I don't know what that means. Is that tiny ears?
I don't know.
Equals tiny feet? I don't know.
He doesn't listen.
Yes, there you go.
There you go. Then we got Apollo Crews versus Aleister Black. Yeah. Aleister Black used to be the thing at NXT, and now it's like, okay.
Yeah,
for me, it's okay.
No, I was the same way. I think we both were kind of just like,
Yeah, so let's move on.
Yeah, I think so. Not much to say.
Alexander and Ricochet versus Danny Burke and Lorcan. Okay, so you and I will both agree. Alexander and Ricochet.
Yep.
They looked really cool together.
They look great.
Yeah, that was a fun match because of those two.
Yeah, I agree. And we both also agreed that the two that they fought.
Oh, yeah, we were like, squash.
Oh, typical jobbers. As soon as they came in, bald heads, like matching tights. Like, oh, God.
They're like the security guards for the COVID. Like, you guys are going to be on Raw tonight.
Man. They're like, are you afraid of coronavirus? No? Okay, come in and go tonight because it's open. We're essential business right now.
I know.
But yeah, I think, if you were in that position, right? Like you were working your way up and they offered you that match, would you take it?
Yes.
Yeah,
probably,
I think so too. I know I hate making fun of them because if I were in their position, I'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, I'd lose to Ricochet like in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But you just know, like, why do they always have to come in so generic?
I know.
It's like the most generic, like, here's the tights, try to, like, get from the community pile of tights and figure out the one you fit. And then, like, both look the same.
Both shave your head.
Yeah, no effort there.
Zero. Then we got Kevin Owens kind of recapping his issue with Seth Rollins, who you love. She loves the Messiah, by the way.
I bow to the Messiah.
She's like, I don't know why. I just love it so much.
I can't get over it. That shirt, like, as soon as I am locked in on somebody's brand, like, if I'm even close to purchasing the shirt, that's how you know that I like their gimmick. So Messiah's working for me right now.
Did you get a shirt?
No, I have not yet, but it's on the list.
It's on the list. Then we have this Denzel DeJournette versus Seth Rollins. By the name alone, you're like, okay.
Yeah, again.
Why would Kevin Owens come up in a vignette, attack Seth Rollins verbally, and then Seth Rollins loses too?
Can you imagine?
That just wouldn't happen.
Chaotic. They should throw those like curveballs in these storylines right now just for the hell of it.
Do it all on Zoom. We'd be like, what is going on? That'd be amazing.
Fuck it. Let them lose.
And then Nia Jax returns and she goes up against Deonna Purrazzo. I'm not sure. I think this is the woman that in that TakeOver street fight match, she was the one that helped Bailey 2.0.
Yeah, I think so.
I forgot her name.
You mentioned it.
Bailey 2.0.
Bailey 2. I see her freaking face.
Yeah, I know.
Right now.
I almost had it.
What is her name?
I know.
It's not Tegan.
No, it's the other one. It's all right. We'll remember when we go into NXT.
Sure.
So Nia Jax comes in, and I was like, man, like that's your return.
I know.
That's your return. Like you don't. I know you're not really good on the mic, allegedly, but you can at least just not have it against someone that no one really knows.
I know.
You should have came out. I mean, I'm acting like I'm a writer, right? Like you should have came out after, Liv Morgan.
Anything.
Won. I know.
Yeah.
Like someone a little more established on the roster to have a big comeback.
That. I was like happy to see her though.
Yeah, it's true. I liked her. Mm-hmm. I like her. Not many people do, but I like her. They, people claim she's kind of botchy, but we need someone like that. We need a brute.
Yeah, she's got the size.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think a lot of the women in WWE there's like 5 of each of them. Does that make sense?
Yes, you're right. Yes, there's a cookie cutter, and they all take one of them.
Yeah,
one of the molds.
You can be, like a player select.
Yes. Yes, that's another reason why is you need that variety.
Right. Player select, but no one ever picks like the big girl. But Nia Jax, I'm going to be the big girl. That's what happened.
Every creative player, I'm like, I want the biggest possible because, big to me means strong and that they'll kick ass. So there you go.
All right. Maybe she should have been the man. Anyway, with the woman. Then we have the title defense by Drew McIntyre from WrestleMania. What was this? Oh, yes. That's right. Big Show. How convenient. Big Show comes out on Netflix with his Big Show.
Big Show.
But I guess we can kind of talk about that too.
You should, because it's your favorite show.
It's not my favorite show, but I am a sucker. I mean, I'm an Asian old lady. And
she is.
If you are... if you have a mom that's like middle-aged, like she's watching Disney Channel style shows and they loving it. And this is one of those shows. Like the acting's terrible. The carbon copy of a precocious kid. But it's entertaining.
Yeah.
And Steve Urkel's in it. And that's kind of cool.
She's like, Kaori's like texting me because I turned it on initially and was like, did you know Big Show has a show? She's like, oh, I'm watching it now from home. She's like, do you know Steve Urkel's on here? As if I was supposed to get all like riled up and excited.
I was excited.
But
I was like, Steve Urkel.
It's like, damn, I didn't know you were that big of a fan.
How do you Steve Urkel and Stefan? Come on.
I love that story. Okay, now we're on a different tangent.
I mean, give it a shot. Like, don't go in there expecting to get Academy Award nominations or Golden Globe Emmy nominations or whatever. But it's cute.
Where does the Big Show rank in like the people and the wrestlers who are now turned actors? Rock,
oh my God. I wouldn't say he's
John Cena.
None of those.
None of those. Okay.
I mean, would you?
I don't know. I would not. Right? I was just curious.
I mean, just in those 5 minutes, you're like,
no.
It's a good thing you're playing the Big Show, right?
That's true. He plays himself.
Yeah.
There's some leniency.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he talks a lot more on the show than in the ring, obviously, because in the ring, he doesn't talk. He just goes in.
Right.
But yeah, that's what's happening.
They put on a good match, though, I think, right? The Big Show and...
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it makes you realize how big Drew McIntyre is. Like, holy crap. Like, eyeball to eyeball, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
He's a big dude.
That's why it was a good match, because I've never seen anyone that is almost the same size as the Big Show.
I think I get more and more infatuated with him every time.
Me too.
Right?
There's like, we noticed something else.
Yeah.
Like, how did I not follow Drew before?
Because a 3MB, 3-man band.
No, he was like kind of in the crowd.
Yeah.
Now, when he's by himself, it's like, whoa.
It's like Jinder Mahal.
Badass.
And now Heath Slater.
Right.
Is not next.
It's not next.
It's not next. All right. In between SmackDown, we've got NXT. We're going to go ahead and recap that real quick. There was not much going on. We had the number 1 contenders match with all these women coming out. Oh, Dakota Kai, that's her name. See, I knew we were going to remember as soon as we were on
Bailey
NXT.
number 2.
Yes. So we had Raquel Gonzalez, Dakota Kai. It might have been Raquel Gonzalez. Anyway, Raquel Gonzalez, Dakota Kai, Tegan Knox, Chelsea Green. who was accompanied by this Robert Stone.
Yeah, that was so bizarre.
Io Shirai and Candice LeRae, and eventually Io Shirai wins. Oh, and not to forget Mia Yim, of course, who was in there as well. So Shirai is now the number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship.
Yep. Well deserved.
I mean, does that mean it's going to stay that way? Is she going to have that match against Charlotte?
Ooh, I didn't even think about that.
Right?
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah.
Seems like she gets screwed every time she's like in the running for
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, and she's really, I like her music. I like her look. I like her style.
Me too.
She has one of the best entrance musics for sure. So we'll see. I mean,
Hopefully. Do you think she could stand up to Charlotte?
I mean, storyline, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe. I feel like she would have to cheat.
Right.
Or have someone cheat. And that would work for her because she's got that heel persona.
Right.
Right. Finn Balor, oh, his name always confuses me. I mean, all these years of watching wrestling, I'm like, is it Balor? No, I'm just kidding.
Balor.
No, Balor. Punset. He sends a message to Walter, who is the current NXT UK champ.
Right.
Yeah, okay. And that's something I noticed. I don't know why. It's just, he's gotten a lot skinnier.
Yeah. You did point that out when we were watching
I was like,
it.
wow, he got a lot thinner.
But he said he doesn't work out.
I know, which makes me laugh each time. Like, I don't work out, guys. Like, okay.
Yes. He just eats and sleeps and has muscles.
Yeah, that's just very fortunate of you.
They have some history, right? I don't know.
Yeah, they definitely do.
I think Walter might beat him though.
I think it's going to be a good match. I like Walter. I love his matches. He's kind of different and he's got this brutish. I love his entrance music. Speaking of, it's like the only classical one there is out there.
Right.
I think those two will do good. Yeah. Okay, then we got, I don't know these two people, guys. I'm sorry. But when we were introduced to them, we're like, wow, these are McMahon style.
The tag team.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. This the new tag team in their debut, Rinku and Sarov. Yes. They're known as Indu Share. And excuse me, guys, if I don't know how to pronounce their names. They defeated this group called Everrise. I mean, talk about jobbers. That was another jobber. That was the same guys.
It might have been. Might have been just new tights.
Yeah.
I like the look of this tag team, though. I think.
Yes. I like
love
that.
the campy. I'm down for it.
But see, that's what we're saying. We want to have like a unique. I mean, yes, there's a couple carbon copies of those, but not in a long time. I can't think of a tag team, not like a singles contender, a tag team that looks like that right now on the roster for dudes. No.
Do you think that they got rid of? Oh well, no, they weren't in NXT anymore. I was going to say the revival for. This
they definitely got rid of them.
Yeah. Just wondering, like, if they just swapped one tag team out for this one. But I mean, I think these guys have a reputation, right?
Yeah, it seems so. Seemingly so.
So I'm interested to see.
Yeah, we definitely are.
How they compete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then finally, we had this long match called One Final Beat. We had the Black Heart versus the Rebel Heart. Great match.
So good.
So good. Ruined by the ending.
Yes.
Ruined. Absolutely ruined. What did you think, Anne?
I loved the match. We were both in awe watching this match. I loved the feel, the grit of it. I love that they tried to, make it out so that this was like a secretive, or not secretive, but like underground fight, that wasn't supposed to be scheduled.
Yeah.
This is their means to kind of figure out who's the last one standing between Ciampa and Gargano. And then we get to the end of the match. And I'm with you. That was unnecessary. It
kind of just ruined it. I mean, this match went on for a full, about an hour.
So good, though.
It was good. And then she comes and she interferes. And you're just like,
Yeah.
And that dumbs her down, too.
Yeah. I'm so, yes. I mean, you've always been kind of like neutral about Candice LeRae, I think.
Yeah, neutral, but kind of like I didn't see why she's so loved.
Right.
I guess, yeah.
Me too. I mean, she's got kind of Bailey-ish energy.
Yeah, she does have a Bailey, like a more or less soccer mom look.
Right. Soccer mom.
Yeah, Anne calls Bailey soccer mom.
Yeah, but you're right. It just doesn't put her in a good light either.
Yeah.
Like this match was easily going to be ranked as one of my top matches for this year if it had continued on without that interruption at the end.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
And that's just the thing. Like, matches need to be solid from start to finish. Mm-hmm. And the thing, a lot of times, we always remember the ending, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So, it's just what happens now. Like, it feels like, oh, I wasted an hour watching this really crazy match.
Yep.
Only be interfered by his wife, who happens to be a wrestler. It's like, okay.
Yeah. There's just still no definitive conclusion to that matchup now. And it's like watching a bad movie and you feel like the ending like could have been way better.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. It's like an M. Night Shyamalan.
Yes.
His match. He choreographed it.
It's too bad.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the last recap of the day. We have the WWE SmackDown results. Let's start down here. We start off with Shinsuke Nakamura coming in to talk to Braun Strowman. I mean, this is an example of giving someone the mic who not many people understand. But hey, it's okay, because when Asuka did it, she was just going for it, and we did not mind.
Right.
This one was it's not that I minded, but he's just weird. And it's not a bad thing. It's just, I do this head tilt, like, what is going on?
Right. He does a head tilt too when he speaks.
Yeah.
So
he looks insane. I mean,
does.
but that's great. That's exactly what he was in New Japan. I remember if you guys go back and look at his vignettes during New Japan, he's even crazier. Mm-hmm. I mean, he has limited emotions here because of WWE, of course. But
right.
So yeah, he challenges Braun, and Braun goes for it. And then we have first up the Women's Tag Team Championship, Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, who defeat our beloved Kabuki Warriors through pinfall. So they had Asuka lose on Raw and on SmackDown. And I like Nikki Bliss. I'm going to call them Nikki Bliss.
I like
That's
Nikki
fine.
Bliss.
That's fine. That's fine. Nikki Bliss. I like them, but I just I like the Kabuki Warriors a little better.
I'm there with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're just better wrestlers.
And also, let's talk about how Dana Brooke is unrecognizable.
I think I asked you 3 times.
You're like, who is that? I'm like,
3 times.
Yeah, I'm like, that's Carmella. You're like, no, the other one. That's Carmella. I'm still like twirling my head, like wondering who that was. So weird.
The fact that you figured it out, I'm still... I need like a magnifying glass, like crime scene, try to figure out who that person is.
Yeah, it was just so strange.
I still can't put it together that that's her. What happened? Did I miss something? Did she have a makeover?
Did I miss something too?
Yeah.
She's like, oh man. She went to Animal Crossing, changed her outfit.
I think like coronavirus, we're all going to come out of this looking different, but I didn't expect her to look like that.
I know. You're like, who is that? I'm like, Carmella? Okay.
Oh, God.
Then we have Elias, who appeared on the platform.
Yep.
Talking it out. And then we've got Dolph Ziggler, who defeated Tucker. I'm going to be honest with you. I was like, you know what? Ziggler never gets injured. I don't remember when he got injured. So you guys tell me a time when he got injured, because this guy's a working man. He's been there for a decade, and I don't remember the last time he was like out of commission.
We need to figure out his conditioning plan. Like,
right.
How does he? I don't know.
How does he stay protected?
Right.
So that makes him a really good wrestler, I think. Yeah.
Match itself,
Yeah, I mean, you do kind of feel bad for Tucker, but I'm just loving this Mandy and Horn guy.
Me too.
Yeah, it's cute. It's very cute. And then we have The Miz and John Morrison talking about their win, and then we end up having this talk about we're going to have the same match again from WrestleMania.
Yeah, what the heck?
It's going to happen again, guys.
So why not?
Why not?
Apparently they stuck around since WrestleMania.
New Day.
Yeah.
And then again. Yeah, it's like, okay.
Sure. Nothing changed.
Yeah. Eye roller.
I know.
Then we got the Forgotten Sons who defeated the Lucha House Party via pinfall. Mm-hmm. I don't remember this match.
Oh, I was about to say that was a good match.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. There we go. We're at odds against each other. Go ahead.
I like the match. I like both tag teams. I think Lucha brings energy, right? They had some really fun like moves. Mm-hmm. Forgotten Sons. I'm slowly building my likeness for this tag team. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think they're kind of like a throwback to some of the tag teams I used to see in the 80s, but I don't know. I'm just digging their style too. And I think when you bring in like an energetic tag team and then you bring in kind of these bigger guys, they kind of pair well together, right?
Yeah.
So
sure.
it worked for me.
Okay. And then we have Bailey and Sasha, who are friends, who had to go up against each other at WrestleMania. So they're having an in-ring promo, and then out comes Tamina, and she says, I want to have that match, Bailey. And Bailey says, you can have that match if you beat Banks first. Mm-hmm. First of all, I'm always distracted by how flawless Sasha Banks looks. I think it's so distracting that I forget that her wrestling is evolved.
Yes.
She's just so she looks good all the time.
Right. I don't know how she does it.
I don't know how. Yeah, she's amazing to look at. Just to look at. But yeah, I think they're stirring the pot. They're basically gonna cause that split between them again. So kind of why did you split them apart anyway? And bring them back. And
do you feel like
Tamina?
Yeah. Do you feel like if you were in Sasha's shoes and Bailey was like, all right, now you got to fight first. Would you feel pissed or would you be like, all right, yeah, I'll take that match because you're my friend? And
I don't know. I mean, it really depends. I'm trying to imagine if you were champ.
Yeah. And so I'm soccer mom.
You're soccer mom.
No, you got to fight Kaori first.
And you say, God, fight Kaori first.
Right? I wouldn't know. I'm not sure how I would feel.
Part of me would be like, yeah, you got to fight me first because that's my girl. But I mean, let's see. If it was a beast of a person.
Right. Exactly.
Right? You're Brock Lesnar first. I'm bitch,
What the hell?
I don't know.
Okay. That's hiding behind a bigger person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think she kind of got screwed, but.
Yeah. I mean, that's heel Bailey for you. Mm-hmm. Who's more entertaining than not heel Bailey and Dakota Kai. But then we got Sheamus. We haven't seen Sheamus in a while. At least I haven't seen him in a while. He might have been back. Anne's been watching his videos, his workout
Celtic
videos.
Warrior workouts.
Yeah.
Really good.
He seems very likable, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is.
He does. Squash match. He does his brogue kick, which I've always hated his finisher. I mean, it's a kick.
It could be better.
It's a kick.
Yes.
It's Jesus. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. And then we got Jeff Hardy for...
promo.
Maybe he's going to get a push after this.
Maybe Edge type push, one last kind of run.
Yeah, it's funny because you see Jeff Hardy, and I think it was 2 weeks ago I was watching, what was he in, WrestleMania? Might have been 4, 5? It was way back.
Okay.
And he was in there, and you're like, man, you forget how much older he is.
Yeah.
But he has not changed his gimmick at all.
No.
It's very impressive.
It's very much still.
Holy mackerel. It just...
Yeah.
He took it with him wherever he went.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Late 90s, early 2000s, he was I'm going full-fledged on this goth /
Yeah.
Metal, whatever persona.
It reminds me of, when you watch, when you hear oh, Chicago's performing at the Hollywood Bowl, or
Right.
you know, like those guys, like they're never gonna change.
Like they're still together.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, cool, let's go see that because it'll bring us back to our childhood. You know, it's like that's how it feels whenever Jeff Hardy comes out now.
Hey, I'm down.
Yeah.
I've been Jeff Hardy fan since I was like 14.
And Goldust. She wants Mandy to be
Goldust.
Gold. Is that man who you want? Mandy to be Goldust, right?
Yeah, I think Mandy would be a great female Goldust.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, I think I've stated this plenty of times, but I think Mandy Rose is what they were trying desperately to make Eva Marie, like that, you know, that vixen. And it just didn't work out because Mandy's a good wrestler and the other one wasn't that great.
Right, yeah.
And then finally we have Braun Strowman, the champion, who defeats Shinsuke via pinfall. I mean, surprise, surprise. I mean, of course that was going to happen. We didn't expect Shinsuke to win. Would have been shocked if he won. Would have been great if he won. I imagine that if he did win, he wouldn't hold the championship for much longer. But yeah, so Braun Strowman wins, and then I think the Wyatts come back.
Yeah, I think that was
The big one.
looking forward to talking about that.
Yeah.
Just kind of starting that storyline is exciting.
Yes, Bray Wyatt.
Right.
Yeah, and I think you asked, and I said I don't remember. But I think you're right. Bray Wyatt once had Braun Strowman join the family.
I believe so.
I think so. I mean, we could be wrong.
They had a clip, and I thought that clip was of the time that Braun was with him. But I do like that they're leveraging this whole funhouse, like crazy, like Annabelle's kind of stirring up the matches for what Bray's going after. So he just finishes his storyline with Cena. Now he's going to move on to Braun. I love it. I think that's going to be a great match. I'm looking forward to that storyline too.
Yeah. Good for Bray.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this is the thing that worries me about Bray, though, is they push him and down. And then they push him and then down. So let's hope it works out for him this time around. I just don't know what it is, why they do that with him.
Well, and he's had, outside of like The Undertaker, he has one of the better entrances I've ever seen.
I don't even remember his entrance.
From like before when he was
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we were at an event, I don't know if we were sitting together, but we both went to the same, whether it was WrestleMania, but I remember just the crowd going crazy for this guy. And then nothing after a while. And then you're right. And then he's back again. And it's like, I don't know. Yeah,
so that's just what works out for him. And I think we might have missed some things. So if we did, we apologize. I'm sure there was some stuff about Randy Orton and Edge. Maybe.
I think there was.
Right? Doesn't it feel like there was?
They did show a recap of the match because I remember us sitting there like, it could have been better. I remember us having that conversation.
And it felt too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was just a clip of their fight at WrestleMania. I don't think they actually had any interaction.
Okay.
I remember.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. You guys remind us if you are listening and comment below and let us know what you thought of any of those three shows. What do you think about the WWE continuing live shows, not just tapings? And how are you doing during this crisis? Are you guys staying self-quarantined, self-isolated, staying safe? We hope you are. In the meantime, if you have any free time, stop over and check out our IG or Twitter at Team Amasian. And then you can follow my friend Anne right here. Where at Anne?
You can follow me at Ann Campia.
And you can follow me at KAORIOUS. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week for some more Wrestling Smack. See ya.
Thank you.